Well, welcome to my holiday hangover. It is Monday, December 2nd, as I film this, the Monday after Thanksgiving, and I don't normally post super personal videos like this, but it feels like this is the only thing I know how to talk about in this moment. Now, I definitely don't want to get too personal, but those who follow me know that my father passed away in June, and there's been a lot of changes in my life, quite extreme changes that have happened over the past year. And it's been really hard to navigate. In some ways, it's a good thing. In some ways, these changes were inevitable. And these changes all reflect the journey. Like they are part of the process of the journey that I'm on. And so, as hard as they are, I know that they're a necessary step in all of this, but it definitely has made for challenging circumstances, challenging issues, and absolutely has rewritten how I live my life, not just on the holidays, but day-to-day life. I think this year I have been more committed than ever to creating a really happy holiday for myself, which is kind of interesting because I didn't expect to feel that way. I thought that I'd kind of be like, I'm taking a break from the holidays this year, but I have been very, very committed to going all out, specifically in my own home for myself as a single woman who is going through all these changes, who is in some ways rebuilding her entire family slash social life. So to that end, I have worked very hard to get all the decorations out over the weekend. I usually tend to decorate the house for Christmas on Thanksgiving weekend, and so I did it again. And this time I actually did more this year than I did last year. And I did it very much kind of like late at night and in my PJs or workout clothes, I don't remember, one or the other. And I wanted to film it initially, but because of the way that I did it, kind of at a time that I didn't expect and not when I was like ready to be filmed, because of all of that, I just went with it and did all of this without filming it. And I'm really happy that I did. I think it was the right thing to do. But I am struggling immensely with the kind of emotional hangover from the holiday weekend and knowing what is coming and trying to figure out how to take care of myself in this moment as a single woman, as a woman without children, as a woman going through this complete rehaul of family life and social life on all of these levels. Like each one of them is a little bit different, but all of them need to be addressed right now. One of the things that I am struggling with right now in this moment is trying to keep up with the healthy rituals that I have been trying to lean on during these months, because winter can be a challenging time for me, as with anyone, and I have some really helpful strategies that I've been using to deal with the grief that comes up and also just to deal with like winter depression. And one of those strategies has been to take 2 walks a day instead of 1, and I'll take 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. The problem with that is that as we've gotten into December, late November, early December, the temperature in the mornings is absolutely frigid at this point. Like before it was in the upper 30s. Okay, no prob. Now it's in the low 20s when I wake up in the morning. And it's not that I can't handle it. It's just I don't really want to, I don't want to be out there freezing in that capacity. Like it's a little much for me. And as we get closer to the solstice, the afternoon is now 2:00. So in the summertime when I'd be doing this, I would be able to go on my second walk of the day at like 6 at night. And it was great and it was fine. And now it's like if I don't go on a walk at 2:00, I miss my window. Right now it's 2 o'clock and I should be going out to take my walk, but I am exhausted from all of the go, 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 do, and lack of sleep that I've had over the past 4 or 5 days. I'm exhausted from the holiday. I'm exhausted from socializing. I'm exhausted from change of scenery, all the different things that I did, and I'm exhausted just from keeping up with the day to day. I am overwhelmed by my to-do list for the week. I am overwhelmed by my feelings. And so there's a part of me that is like trying to advocate for taking the day off. Let's have a 0 day today. Let's not walk today. That's a little hard for me to do. Walking is a huge, huge way that I cope with my stress. But sometimes I need a 0 day, and maybe today is that day. 0 days are always hard for me because they bring up a lot of tension for me as someone with disordered eating habits and dysfunctional compulsive exercise habits that go way back to my teenage years. To this day, it is still very hard for me to skip a day. And I think that in some ways that makes it even more important to do that, to take the time away and to allow myself to rest. So I think that maybe the most compassionate thing that I can do for myself today is not to go for my walk. I already skipped my morning walk, so why not the afternoon walk too? And to make a batch of cookies and to have a cookie and to take it easy today. My knee also hurts, by the way, and like maybe my knee just needs some rest. Maybe my body just needs some rest. Maybe I need to make some plans to go to bed early today. It's been a really long week, and I think one of the things that we do as a culture is forget to acknowledge. I don't even know if I want to say forget. I almost feel like it's a purposeful denial of the stress that we are going through, the emotions that we are dealing with, particularly around the holidays, because there's all this pressure that we're supposed to feel a certain way. We're supposed to take a certain stance. We're supposed to work on certain things. And throughout all of that, we're dealing with long-standing issues that are going on in our families, things that might have been patterns for years or decades. We are going through all kinds of the stress of the holidays themselves, of preparing for these holidays, of deciding what we do and do not want to do, and then balancing our own expectations with the expectations of the people with whom we want to share those holidays. I mean, it's insane the amount of emotional labor and stress and difficulty that comes with the holiday season. And then there's this social pressure to paper over all of that and to be like, no, it's fine. I put up my tree at 11:30 last night. I'm like, it was awesome. Maybe it wasn't awesome. Maybe you would have preferred not to put up a tree at all, or maybe you would have preferred to have an extra day so you could have done so in a leisurely fashion at a time that worked for you. But does that ever happen? No, of course not. So I'm feeling a lot of energy around needing to slow down today, needing to calm down, needing to take a step back. There's such a feeling for me this year in particular of urgency around creating joy in my life because of how I feel about everything that's happened, because of just what happened, regardless of how I feel about it. There's such a change and a hardship and empty spaces in my life right now. And in order to take care of myself as I navigate those losses and those griefs, I want to do everything that I can to make this a beautiful holiday season. And particularly considering what happened last holiday season, because my father became ill on Christmas Eve last year. There is I don't even know if I want to get into that because it's extremely painful. I think what I will say about that is that there's a lot of sorrow that is attached to the holiday season for me because of my father's last illness and the last months of his life, and how important it was for me at the time to hold on to Christmas, because I was so alone during that time that I felt like I needed that kind of like holiday, what would you call it, like a safety blanket maybe. There was a feeling of having that as a safety blanket. And so I kind of stretched out the Christmas season until pretty much March of last year. And it did help. And I'm allowing myself to do that again this year as needed. Eventually I'll get tired of it and decide to put it all away, but I am going to allow myself to indulge in the Christmas holiday merriment as long as I want. It's not as much fun after actual Christmas, right? Like most people are like, oh, so over it. And so, without the collective buy-in, it's not as comforting. But within my own home, I can access that, and I feel like that's good. So that's part of the reason why I was so determined to get the decorations out, even though it was late that night when I did it. And there is the urgency in me to fill every single day this month with holiday merriment. Damn it, you're gonna be merry if it kills you. And I recognize that comes from a place of self-love, and I want to feel grateful for the part of me that is trying to create that space for me, that sense of safety, that sense of joy. And also like knowing that it's trying to protect me from the anniversaries of what happened with my father and the feelings that came along with that time. So there's definitely a sense of hesitation and fear around any kind of opting out. Even the opt-out of not going on my afternoon walk today, or like any walk at all today, like taking a 0 day today. Even that kind of an opt-out feels like I'm losing time. I'm losing the potential of December. And I know I have to set myself free from that. I know so many things need to be restructured now, collectively and individually. And I've already been through such a massive renovation in my own selfhood. But this is part of the continuance of that, is to create holiday traditions that work for me as an individual, as a family of one, and to deprogram from the urgency of Christmas in capitalism, from the frantic chaos of Christmas in capitalism. That is something that I need to learn how to step back from. I need to learn what this season means, the whole season, not just Christmas. Like, it's not about Christmas. For me, it's about winter, connecting with winter, connecting with the rhythms and celebrations of winter. And this is a whole other video, honestly, because it's not, like I said, it's not about Christmas, particularly for me and my spiritual beliefs. For me, it's more like winter solstice. For me, it's more old world. But I do like many things about Christmas and have celebrated Christmas since I was a kid. And so there are certain like emotional touch points there for me that I also enjoy and like to participate in each year. But I really want to get to know the season a little bit better and really want to connect with it and to connect with myself. One of the ways that I have been doing that is by completely changing my routine. I'm normally a night owl. So in the wintertime, I will go to bed late and I will wake up kind of whenever I want, which usually is around 8 o'clock. And this year, and again, there's some urgency to this, but this year I've been quite adamant about enjoying every moment of sunshine that I can. And so I've been getting up at like 6:30 or 7 every morning so that I can see the sun come up. And I really enjoy that. And then I go to bed at like 9:30 at night, and I enjoy that as well. And I enjoy taking advantage of the lack of sunlight. I know that's like most people's primary problem with winter. And for me, for sure that can be a hardship, but that's never been my deepest struggle with winter. There are other things about winter that I struggle with, but I enjoy having a season where nature forces us to rest and forces us to step back and forces us to take a minute. And I think we need that. In fact, I feel like that's something that is going to become essential as we move forward. If we want our species to survive, if we want to create healthy societies, this is something we're going to have to relearn. And I truly believe in that. And I think that's part of my process here, is to understand winter better. It's easier for me to do in December because December comes with all the bells and whistles, the literal bells and whistles of Christmas. Whereas January and February are immensely hard for me. It's like 2 months of just nonstop hardcore winter, and there's really not anything in there that I can look forward to, for me. I don't care about Valentine's Day that much. January, it's like, okay, great. Like, like New Year's, I adamantly do not want to participate in the hustle of New Year's. I don't want to participate in, the 30-day this and the 30-day that, and the lose 30 pounds in January, and the get your life on track in January and make your I have been actively trying to deprogram from approaching January like that. It doesn't make any sense to me on an instinctive level, on an animal level. It makes zero sense to me that we're going into this like slow descent into winter, and then we get to the peak of it, and then we're like a week later, and go as fast as you can. I don't understand that. I think that is just pure capitalism. It's not something that I want to be a part of. So these are all factors in me trying to reclaim winter, to relearn winter, to understand winter better, to understand how to function within it better. Because it's not about making winter conform to our standards and our expectations and our needs. Like that's how I feel that we approach it. I feel like we need to learn how to fit into winter. That's the way it's supposed to work. And I also feel like we have to learn how to take care of ourselves during this time when we are met on every level with demands from outside of ourselves to perform a certain way, to spend a certain amount of money, to complete a certain amount of tasks, to do a certain amount of socializing, etc., etc. And I feel like we need to be so much more careful with our energy in the wintertime. I mean, probably at every time of year, but particularly in the wintertime. And we need to learn how to take care of ourselves. We need to learn how to listen to our emotions and our needs during this time of year, and how to address them. So I think that's the action that I'm going to take today. And it's really, honestly, I'm really scared to do this because I feel very panicky every time I take a 0 day, unless I'm sick. Like if I'm sick, okay. But like when I'm fine and I take a 0 day for no reason other than that I just feel exhausted and emotionally overwhelmed, that feels like it's not good enough to me. Like it's not a good enough reason. And then it brings up all of the old feelings from my compulsive behaviors of the past. So this is a good thing to confront, because I think the priority, my body is telling me the priority today needs to be taking care of my body, my body's need for rest. I don't just want to say taking care of my body, because you could argue that that means going on a walk. What I feel today is the exhaustion of not even just 4 days of go, 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 but like a whole week. Like it's been a full week of prepping for Thanksgiving and doing all the things and cooking and socializing, and it's been a week and now I need a minute. Even yesterday when I came home from the last festivity, I immediately grabbed my walking shoes, put them on, got back in the car and went to the park and walked for an hour and a half. And it's like maybe yesterday needed to be the 0 day. Now I'm going to give myself the 0 day. No matter how hard it is, no matter how much it triggers me. And I'm going to try to take it easy and take things step by step today and realize the things that are triggering me and work on pulling back from that. Because this season belongs to us. Any way that we choose to engage with it, which could be not at all, a little bit, a lot, but whatever it is, we get to choose what we do and don't do. We get to choose whether or not we're going to take care of ourselves during this time. And I want to take care of myself. I want to be my own husband, my own wife, my own mother, my own best friend. Okay, so this is me working in real time to make this holiday about me, to make this holiday work for me, this holiday season. How do you take care of yourselves during the holiday season? And most importantly, how do you take care of yourselves after the holiday and like having the emotional hangover that so many of us get? Thanks for being with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.